What's up, everybody? Oh, it's me. It's PLD.
You almost slipped there.
I almost did. One of these days we'll get it right. But who are you?
Oh, I'm Richard Eric Jarvi. Welcome to Class Action.
Welcome to Class Action.
That's right. That's what you were trying to say.
It was. And I was like,
that's my line, though. Don't steal
I
my
want to take
lines.
your line. I just want to take your line. It just so naturally goes, welcome to where we are. And then we don't do it. But that's not how we do things. I'm going to get used to it eventually. We're only like 57 episodes in. I don't know.
At least.
You figured I'd know, but
sorry, you cut in. I just wanted to say that welcome to the classiest show on the interwebs, which is not true, but just something that I like to say.
It sounds good. So we're going to pretend that it is, and we're going to go with it. If you believe it enough, it'll come true.
That's right. What I thought. But what do we do on Class Action, Paul?
Well, on Class Action, we usually take two separate items, whether it be actors, movies, franchises, whatever. We put them up against each other in a battle to the death. Oh, maybe not really the death. That almost seems too extreme, but I kind of like it.
We're called the movie killers.
That's right. No, we're called Class Actors. So we're going to go on this little riff of jury and law and judging. So we're going to put up in a class action lawsuit, one against the other. We're going to deliberate with our 5 specially made categories, and then we'll come up with a judgment at the end as to who is the winner and who is the loser.
Very true. Very true. And we got some special movies for you today. Two of I would say one is one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time, and the other one is a hugely underrated sci-fi movie.
Also, they're both underrated. A lot of these aren't these movies that aren't exactly universally loved. They're not.
They aren't, but we love them.
I do. Yeah, absolutely. We definitely love them. I do want to say first off, before we introduce them, we did take a week off last week. So I know you missed us. Definitely, I got all an outpouring of love and support saying, "Where are you? We need our Class Action." Well, I'm here to tell you, we have our schedule set. We shouldn't be missing any more weeks. Don't you worry.
It's going to be a fun summer. We have some exciting things lined up.
We do. Especially if you're fans of Action Movie Anatomy. You definitely have to stay tuned for some upcoming episodes. We're really excited about them. But speaking of Action Movie Anatomy, we should also, of course, pay homage. We are on the Action Industries YouTube channel, the home of Ben Bateman and Andrew Guy. We salute you, as always, giving us a little slice on your channel to let our words of wisdom be spewed across the internet. That's what we do. Without further ado, why don't we talk about the movies first? We are throwing up Ready Player One.
Yes, love that poster.
I love that poster. If you're new to our show, we try to find the most ridiculous alternative posters we can find as best we can. Some we can't find.
Some call them ridiculous.
Ridiculous in the best of ways. The best of ways. They're just alternative. There's not typical one sheets, so to speak. But Ready Player One, the Steven Spielberg directed adaptation of the Ernest Cline book, against a sequel, a long time in the making, Tron Legacy. Both very visually stimulating, both very much in the in alternative worlds, so to speak.
Both video game movies, but not actual video game movies. If that made sense at all.
I got exactly what you're saying there. It's kind of scary that I did, but it's sort of simpatico, I think, at this point. But they're both very fun movies. Some people think they're overrated. I think they're underrated. But
they're definitely underrated. Well, Ready Player One has gotten more attention than Tron Legacy, I feel like. Although it's been a while as well, but I think because of Spielberg, Ready Player One got a lot of attention and people were maybe overhyped. I don't know, but most people say it's kind of schlocky, mainstream, very down the mid lane, but that's exactly what it needs to be, in my opinion.
I think the problem, if he has a problem, is the fact that it's Spielberg. He's kind of like the older. He's kind of like, I liken him to a sports star, an aging sports star. He's like the 40-year-old baseball player. He's not quite the MVP.
He's Billy Chappell.
Billy Chappell, exactly. Clear the mechanism. He's not quite his all-star Cy Young level, but he can come out and he can still throw. He's a wily veteran. He can still get the job done, even if it doesn't quite reach like the phenomenal heights that he had in the past. I think in a way it hurts the film because it's not Spielberg at his absolute best, but it's pretty damn good in pretty good enough for me. That's what I mean. So I loved it, the film myself. But
yeah, same here. And Tron's director is Joseph Kosinski. Kaminski or Kaczynski? Kaczynski, right?
Kaczynski. First time, that was his first film, his feature film debut, and he made quite a splash.
And it's a Disney movie as well. It was a huge undertaking.
Yeah, considering it's one of those. It's actually, I liken it very much to what Blade Runner 2049 tried to do for Blade Runner. It was that kind of thing. 30 years later, whatever, how many years later, trying to visually update everything. I will say that Blade Runner 2049 might be my favorite movie of the decade.
It's probably one of the greatest sci-fi movies ever made.
So I can't say the Tron Legacy hit those heights. But it's had the groundwork for what Blade Runner 2049 did, I feel. But
you hadn't seen Tron Legacy in a while, and I read your review, and I was really excited to read it. And the fact that you gave it a 4 out of 5 stars,
I did.
I was like, yes.
I saw it in the theaters. I can't say it wasn't memorable. It's just that I had never seen. I can't remember if I had seen Tron before I saw Tron.
I hadn't. I still haven't.
You haven't watched Tron?
I tried watching it. Now that's a movie that's a chore to watch.
It's aged. It's definitely aged.
It's aged a lot,
but it's of its time too.
But
the funny thing about that is it's a movie that I really should have had watched because it's my demo. I'm a little older, obviously you are. This is the 80s. That was my growing up era. And I remember even hearing about it, but I never really watched it. I remember the video game. I remember the arcade game, the actual arcade game.
Well, it was an actual game.
Well, I don't. Be honest with you, the funny thing, I don't do the research. I should know. I don't know if the game was made after the movie.
Oh, right, yeah.
But there was definitely a game involved at some point. But it's a movie like that everyone was talked about. Everybody had a lot of nostalgia for it, but I just had never seen it until much later. I want to say I watched it before I watched Tron Legacy, but I don't know for sure. But I guess it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really need that you've seen it as well. That's what I love about Tron Legacy. It's sort of. It throws you into this world. It doesn't really chew it up for you. Like, here's everything that happened, but you get what happened through like emotional connections and through these, like, Alan as someone like Clue and everything that's like, these are pre-existing characters that you might not know who they are, but they still weave it together in a way that you're on board.
That's true.
And you can have a good time.
That's true. Well, we should get into it. The brief of the week, like I said, we always have the 5 custom-made categories. But before we get into those, we do have a little couple games we like to play.
Yes, sir.
The first game we will play, as always, is one of my favorites. What would Ed Harris play? Ed Harris, my boy, my favorite actor of all time. I always think he elevates any movies. And so what we try to do is we actually recast him in a role in the films, or in some cases, we might actually write him in a new role to see, because he'll always make something better. So let's make these movies better by giving Ed Harris the love that he deserves and put him in these roles.
Watching you explain what would Ed Harris play is like watching Ben Bateman explain Fist Pump. It's like it's a fist pump on its own. It's like it's so enjoyable. Not like me explaining Public Defender. Now that is a train wreck.
Which we're gonna find out. We're gonna have you do.
It's gonna come up
in a couple minutes. So before we get to that lovely part of the show, let's start off. Did you actually get this done this week, or what are we doing?
We were talking before we went live, and I told you that I hadn't done it, but I came up with it as soon as I told you. I'm actually kind of it's a risk that I'm taking. It will either pay off or it won't.
Bold strategy, God. Let's see if it pays off.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Let's see. Let's hear it.
All right, I'll go first with my Tron Legacy, which is the safer choice, because honestly, it's the tougher one as well to cast, because you kind of want him as either Kevin Flynn or Alan or some of the older characters, but I would have him as the board member from the start of the movie, the shit weasel, if you'll say so, the guy who wants to take the company public.
Right.
Have him as this stern, sleazy, businessman.
I get that. I
just want him to be like, have no redeeming qualities about him. Just be a shit weasel.
He could do it very well.
He could definitely.
And I'm gonna go other way. I'm gonna go. Maybe you said it a little bit more of an easy one, but I think I do want to see him as Alan Bradley / Tron.
Mm.
I can see him in that role. You don't get to see him in the good as a good guy as much as you used to be able to. So putting him in that role where he can be good, but he can also play Rinsler as well and be have a little bit of an edge to him that way as well. I think that could fit in very, very well for my boy.
Wait, is Rinsler and Tron the same? Like they have the same Alan face? Is that right?
It's like de-age
But
in a
they're two
way.
different characters. Like
Right.
Rinsler and Tron are actually different characters. Like that's where like me not seeing the original, I feel like I have some gaps. So you can fill them in if you want to.
They were basically split into two in a way. Tron was the original person, or Tron was the original program.
Yeah, like Tron was like Clue was to Kevin, right?
Right. And then Rinsler was kind of the made over version of him in a way. He got when Clue took him over and made him into Rinsler. So it's the same basic character, just kind of like more of a different aspect to him to a degree.
Right. So Rinsler is this more aggressive type.
Yes, exactly.
The guy who fights. Yeah, but that could be a cool thing also. Like, obviously, you can't have Ed Harris like doing these backflips and parkour shit, but you can have him. Fuck you. I wish you went like, fuck you, man.
I know it's it.
Sorry about the cursing. But what I wanted to say is like you can have like Rinsler and Sam fight, and maybe Sam, kind of gets the upper hand and kind of smashes his helmet, and you can see some of Ed Harris's eyes.
Yeah.
Or something like in The Last Jedi with Captain Phasma.
Yep.
We never saw her, but like a little bit of the eyes.
Yeah,
it would be cool.
I like that. All right. What about Ready Player One?
All right, so Ready Player One, I would have when everyone is like piling up to the final fight, like, the Avengers Endgame moment. Everyone's coming to the rescue. We see these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We see all these like epic characters. Right. And then we would see running in their uniforms is like Ed Harris, David Morse. Everyone's coming together. They're running, and they are General Hummel, and I can't remember the other guy's name. Damn it! I would have Ed Harris as General Hummel in Ready Player One because they can have characters from the movies in there.
That's true. It is 90s, so it's a little bit out of the realm of the 80s what they try to do. But I do like where your head's at. I'd probably allow it, even though it was a cop out. I liked it anyway because it's a little definitely it's outside the box. I mean, it's the easy answer is obviously the Ben Mendelsohn character. You always put him
but Ben's so damn good.
Ben is damn good. Ben is very damn good. I'm not gonna lie.
He's a great villain on the shit weasel.
He is. He really is. I would almost be curious if he could pull off. I'm gonna do it again.
You're whitewashing someone, aren't you?
No, not that way. The Sweetwater Ed Harris, the wild and wacky. Put him as James Halliday.
All right.
I want to see him be a little bit wacky, a little bit crazier, a little bit more. It's not a role he would normally be put in, but I want to challenge him and see what he can do in that kind of whimsical kind of role. He has some whimsical moments in some of his movies, which I'm going to show you when I do the Harris stunts on PLD Products. Cheap plug right there. It's coming up soon. But I think you could see him in a very whimsical role, and not one might be the wrong word, but he's got an intensity to him that if he just dials it down from he
needs to dial it down. That's where I have problems. He's too intense. Like Mark Rylance is very subdued, and he's this quirky, cool guy. He doesn't have this, this rock and roll sort of. Ed Harris is very stern.
Right.
So, but I haven't seen this side of him, so it's interesting.
I think he can do it. He could have because you could have the same intensity, just trafficked in a different way. If that makes sense. So I'm interested to see. I want to challenge him
because Mark Rylance does something.
He does very well.
He's so like it's such a small role, but he's so damn good. Like the way he talks is like almost monotonous, but he's not. He's like. Sometimes I just wished we could go backwards. Yeah, pedal to the metal. Like this but there's something rock and roll about him at the same time when he's so, I don't know, laid back.
You know what? You're right. You know what? I'm actually going to change it. I'm going to change it up. Why don't we try him to be the other one, though? Simon Pegg.
Yeah, that actually I could see better. Although Peg is awesome, but I think he could be this. He would be a different character, though. I feel, but again, he'd be like, when he shows up at the end, is like, so I caught you guys or something, and be stern, and then have this soft side come in, sort of like that is a friend.
I like that idea. I don't like that idea. All right, that's good enough. There we go. Fine with that. That's the end of.
Does this look weird? There's like light. I feel like I'm.
Oh, there's a little bit of an angel thing going on there. Look at that.
It's like I'm taking off.
You really are. Oh, look at you. You're like a godlike creature right there. Somebody's got a halo going on in front of it.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Love it. All right.
I don't know why that was important, but
it was very important. Everything we say is important. Or at least anything you say is important. Let's move on, though. We know where we got that. Where we move on to your favorite subject now.
Oh, yes. We're talking about the public defender bit.
What is that? What is that, Jarvi?
You want to know what that is?
I do. Right. Tell me all about it.
Pretty much what it is. It is an off-the-cuff list. We are getting a top 5 list of something. Usually we don't know, so we have to come up with the picks on the spot. So why do we call it a public defender? It is because in movies, usually the public defender is someone who has to do things off the cuff. They are overworked. They are underpaid. They can be as good at their jobs as they can be, but usually time and pressure is weighing on them. So they have to come up with stuff on the spot, hence off the cuff lists. How did I do?
That's very offensive to public defenders. They're very hard working. Oh my God, Indiana Jones is coming in. He's making guest appearance there for you.
He was like, I liked his intro.
It was, but no, you're right. Absolutely, I love this segment. I do. It's kind of a fun segment to do. This week we actually have a guest. Sometimes we have them live, but we do record at ungodly hours. So this week we couldn't. So they have someone who made videos for us to watch. We have a member of the Action Army who has made a video for both the top 5 list, or top 6 list, or whatever we're gonna dive into, and also have a second video where they're gonna give their list we have to watch and see if we agree with them or not. We'll watch that together. But the member of the Action Army, he's making, I think, I could be wrong, but I remember reading the email, the private messages we did back and forth. This might be his first appearance on a show anywhere, like first on-screen appearance for anywhere. You know him from behind the scenes quite a bit. You know him very well because he's the guy who made this.
This is truly, this is by far the greatest thumbnail that he's made for us.
Absolutely.
This looks so cool.
It is, and it's really cool. He makes awesome thumbnails, but he does work for everybody in like the Schmodown and Schmodown adjacent community. You know him, you love him. My boy, Jacob Patrick. He was so excited. I remember I told him what we're doing this week, Ready Player One versus Tron. And he wrote back, goes, "You're doing Tron? Holy crap!" I'm excited about it. So it's like,
then you like sent me, like, you told me that he's so excited for us doing Tron, and I'm like, let's give him the off the cuff. That's like perfect.
Exactly.
Let's do it.
He recorded a video for us, and we're gonna watch it now, and we'll come back. We'll do our 5 list, and we'll see what he has to come up with. But without further ado, I'm gonna take off our little banner we made.
Maybe we won't even see his, like you said, he's never appeared on any shows. Maybe we won't even see his face.
Possible. So here we go. Let's see what happens. Wait, turn this up, make sure it's right. All right.
I hope this is important.
I hope not too. This would be really bad. Luckily, we're pre-recording this. So.
Yep. This is very Tron-like.
Look at that.
Well. What's up, boys? PLD, Jarvi, 2 legends in the Action Army. It's your boy, Jacob Patrick, JP, making my first ever on-screen debut in some fashion. So let's see how this goes. I'm honored for it to be on one of the best shows on the YouTube space, Class Action, with my boys.
Yeah.
And here we are, talking about Ready Player One and one of my favorite movies, underrated movies, Tron Legacy.
Yes, baby.
And I'm beyond happy you guys are showing some love for Tron. So, I was approached to come up with a top 5 list of sorts, and
I can already hear the soundtrack.
I'm going to go with
I love the music.
top 5 animated CGI villains.
Ooh.
Strictly villains. Now, just to expand a little bit, let's take Thanos out of it.
Shit.
I think it's safe to say most people have him on his list.
Crap.
So, with him washed off, you can't take him. Let's see what you guys come up with. Discuss.
Oh,
I'm
damn.
excited. I
Oh,
love you guys. Classic.
yeah.
JP, that was fucking
boy.
amazing.
That is my boy right there.
That was so
Oh,
cool. He really worked on that one.
give it all in. I love it. Oh, so now we got to come up with top 5 of animated villains, not including Thanos. Not including Thanos.
I've got one. I can go first.
You go for
One of my favorite. It actually relates to this. I think this is actually my favorite actual video game movie, and it's from the movie Warcraft.
Oh,
and it's the orc villain. I think he's a mage or a caster of some sorts, and he's like pure evil. But he's like, what I love about Warcraft is they're all actually motion capture performances, and they're friggin' amazing, very well done. And I can't remember the orc's name. I think it's Guldum or Duldum or something like that. He is a vile villain, and he's awesome, and that's my pick.
Okay. I'm gonna go with an old animated Disney classic villain. I love me some Scar from Lion King.
I think that might be my number one, though. That is a great one.
There's something about Jeremy Irons, like the lazy dialogue, the way he speaks.
Yeah.
So vicious, is so evil. I love how he chews up the scenery. I gotta go with Scar in there. That's a good one. That's a good one for me. So Scar.
Well, I'm in trouble now.
You got nothing else, huh?
I don't want to say Steppenwolf. I don't want to say that. But that's the first CGI thing that comes to my head.
That's not good.
I can't say Thanos. All right, let's think. Some comic book movies. Something. Come on, help me out here. All right. Oh, it's not really a CGI. There's some CGI. I want to say Terminator and the metal guy. Jesus, I'm like blanking hard this time.
T-1000.
But like, yeah, the T-1000, and he's not really CGI. He's only CGI that's used on him.
Yeah, I don't know if that counts.
No, I can't pick that.
All
right. I'm really in trouble here. All right, you go.
Smaug.
Well, fuck you, man. This is too easy for you.
Can't go wrong with Smaug, man. Smaug. Benedict Cumberbatch. I mean, I know the Hobbit films aren't quite as loved as the Lord of the Rings, and rightfully so. But Smaug was one of the ones that things they got right. Benedict Cumberbatch's voice was just phenomenal for the role, and it was very menacing and very much so. Everything in place, everything about his entire sequences were the best parts of the Hobbit movies. So I'm leaving it wide open for you.
All right, I'm gonna go with something weird. He's a villain, and then he turns into a hero. But the new Godzilla movie with Aaron Taylor Johnson. I don't want to, because there's so many. Well, he starts off. He's really not a villain though. But I'll go with what are the evil monsters in there? The huge, like the ones that Godzilla needs to fight.
Oh, I actually.
There's like, no, it's a really famous name.
I'm
gonna get slaughtered.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know what it is too. The kaiju, right? Kaiju.
It's pretty much kaiju. Anyway, the villains from Godzilla that Godzilla has to fight. The like insect-looking ones, and the many-headed dragons, and
okay.
I'm really blowing this one.
I gave you the option of going. I took Smog thinking you could
I
take
know,
Gollum.
that was my first choice, but Gollum really is not the villain. I would say he's a victim. Is like,
I get that to a degree. Okay. Well, I gotta come up with one more then. What about? Oh, I can't remember the character's name.
all right, what movie?
The Incredibles. Jason Lee.
Interesting. I can't remember that movie at all.
It's the voice he does. I can't remember who's the sidekick from Mr. Incredible.
This is
Like,
exactly what happens with Off the Cuff.
We're not
the guy from the movie.
You know the guy, that guy, that. But that's where you go. Jason Lee's character in Incredible, as we'll say. It's Mr. Incredible's sidekick. Former sidekick, I should say. I like it. That was a funny movie. That was a funny character for me. So I like that. Even as an animated, not quite intimidating as an animated villain, but it's pretty good nonetheless. You got one more in you?
All right, I'm gonna go with the no. Okay, I'm gonna cheat a little here, but he's a villain. All right, I'm gonna go with Thor Ragnarok, and when Thor has to fight Hulk. Can I take this?
Hulk as a villain?
He's a villain, kind of, because he wants to destroy Thor.
I'm not. Yeah, I can't give you that.
Well, crap. All right, I'm gonna go with I can't choose Hela because she's really not CGI. I'll go with the huge Ragnarok thingy that destroys, Asgard.
Okay, Surtur, we got that. Okay, that's good.
Surtur, that's right.
All right, I did throw a couple of those thinking of as we went on. Throw Kingpin in there would be a good one from the Spider-Verse film.
I tried to think of live-action movies that have CGI characters. I try to steer clear from animated movies, but that's not something we had to do. That's just me.
Yeah. I actually thought of some other animated villains like Jafar from Aladdin would be good. Gaston from Beauty and the Beast is actually pretty good. The Cobra Commander from G.I. Joe movie. Megatron from Transformers movie.
Oh, why did I not think of Megatron? He's awesome.
They're awesome. They're all awesome. So, but that's what we'll go with. You know what, though? We've got to find out now. We're going to find out what Jacob.
That was a terrible list by us.
That was not a good list for us. Jacob Patrick, you totally stumped us. We were not prepared. Yep. You did your job very well. Thank you very much. Let's see what he had to say. Get that one up here. And his list is going to completely dwarf ours. And I'm gonna keep us on screen for this so we can kind of watch this together. Let's see what his list is, which is probably totally better than ours. So let's go.
Well, here I am again. I was unprepared, that I also had to bring my top 5 list for my own suggested topic. So, here I am days later, had some time to think about it, lost some sleep.
I love this guy.
But I think I'm sold on my top 5 CGI villains. So I'm just gonna start at the bottom, number 5, my wild card sleeper pick from a movie I know isn't the most liked of the MCU. I find it underrated, and that's Avengers: Age of Ultron. So
yes, Ultron is fucking awesome.
5.
That's true.
I think James Spader, what he brings to the character, even though he doesn't actually do a whole lot in the movie itself, I think the character is awesome.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Number 4,
like CGI, not animated.
is the one I had the most difficult time really solidifying.
Let's see. Okay.
But I decided to stick with my passion and love for Disney.
Okay.
With Shere Khan from the live-action Jungle Book.
Oh, I thought about that one. Actually, that was my next
a menacing character. What it just brings to the character.
Absolutely.
Is that Idris Elba?
I thought it was very well done.
Yes.
And all 5 of my picks are. I tried to find a balance between looking visually pleasing and also being, a solid character in itself. Number 3, how could you not include Gollum from the Lord of the Rings franchise on your list anywhere.
I got why you didn't. I got why you didn't.
The absolute legend,
but
the best in the biz in terms of motion capture for characters.
That's absolutely true, though.
He has to be somewhere on your list. If he's not, your list is a wash.
See, I should have thought of Koba.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, Koba.
Number 2. Koba. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
There you go.
Do I really need to?
Totally forgot about Koba.
He's just an awesome villain.
He is.
He really is.
Just evil and hatred that resonates inside of him for humans.
Exactly.
You know, he thought he killed Caesar. He's just an awesome villain for a great trilogy.
Yep.
Number 1 though, easy is an easy pick.
Oh.
If Thanos is off the table, number 1, Davy Jones. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Bill Nye.
Holy.
Didn't even think of that one.
Shit. He is so good.
That is
awesome. By the time this movie came out, the visuals alone are mind-blowing.
Yeah.
For Davy Jones.
That's very true.
His voice, everything about it is incredible. And I'm such a huge fan of that character.
Absolutely.
Now, since this is pre-recorded, I haven't seen your guys' list or heard your list.
Please don't.
Great.
Don't even bother.
Maybe not as good as mine.
Not as good as yours.
Probably not.
Definitely not as good as
yours. It's great, I'm sure. No doubt you guys are great. Great minds. But yeah, I'm glad I could do this for you guys. It was fun. And take care, boys.
All right. Thank you very much, JP.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate that.
Awesome. Yeah, that's what we do. We make our guests feel good.
That's true. Absolutely.
Because we look like idiots and they feel awesome.
I do feel bad. I kind of feel like I misunderstood. He was definitely looking for the CGI aspect of it. I kind of went animated. But
that's what public defenders do. They sometimes mess up.
That's very true. So yeah, I'll go with it. I went with Smog. That's one technically. That's CGI.
Smog was a good pull.
There you go.
That was a great pull.
And let's see. We could also. I'm sure the Disney movies are all getting live action versions also. So we'll do that. We'll be fine with that as well. Scar has got a live action one, right? Yeah, I didn't see the movie, but
but that was pretty terrible.
Fair enough. I can only go where I saw it, damn it. All right. Well, we're going to move on then. Let's get into our actual brief of the week, the actual meat of the show, meat and the potatoes of the show. We got our five soundtracks, 5 categories to delve into. We'll list them now and we'll break them down. The 5 categories we chose, some of them are, you can start seeing some of them more and more. I feel like we forgot to get to a rhythm we have. That just makes sense for every one we do. But some of them are just kind of better for others or not. This one we got with the first one, we went with the best soundtrack / score. These are both movies that need, especially Ready Player One had more of a soundtrack aspect than a score aspect. Pretty much. Tron actually had the Daft Punk score, pretty much no actual songs in there. We're gonna get into that in a minute. But category number 2, best. This is interesting to me when I watch it. Best mentor / father figure. And some people might think it's a little bit of a stretch for Ready Player One, and it is a little bit. But we'll make it work because you're going to have to trust us.
No, because Rylance is awesome. We talked about it a little bit. He does so much with very little time.
Right. But is he really a mentor / father?
He's a mentor for sure. I would say he's a mentor.
But he's like an absent one in a way. But we'll get into it later on.
Jeff Bridges is also absent for most of his.
Oh, but we had some actual scenes like between the characters that are real. That's
difference. You don't really know. Halliday came back at the end. He asked him, "Are you dead? Are you real?" It never gets answered. We don't really know. He's dead.
But he's not just an avatar. He did say that.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's very true. But as far as actual mentoring goes, we'll get into it. We're totally. This is why we can't advance. We can't talk about these in advance. We start getting into them. We get so excited. We want to talk through them already. Number 3, better visuals and CGI. 4, better villain. And 5, I think we're just going to make this our 5th category from now on. It's better fist bump. We did steal a little bit from AMA, but God, it's the best thing to talk about. It's our favorite parts of the movie. So why wouldn't you talk about them? Which is those big moments that you go, yes! And that's good. So let's get into the first one then. Let's go better soundtrack / score. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
This is Daft Punk easily.
Easily.
I'll just say, like, I do love Ready Player One's. It's very Alan Silvestri's score reminds me a lot of John Williams stuff. He has this magical touch. He has.
In fact, you thought it was John Williams.
Well, he uses Williams' scores in there.
In fact, you thought it was Williams. You were pitching this to me. I'm going to throw you right under the bus here.
Yeah, I thought it was John Williams who scored it.
I was like, I don't think it's John Williams. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all good. And they use pre-existing scores from like Back to the Future. They use The Shining. They even use a little bit of Star Wars theme maybe at some point. I'm not sure. I think they mentioned Padawan. I figured there was like some movements there. There was so much, like, you almost feel like interesting. This movie throws them all together, and we're sort of supposed to believe that this is a great score. But that's exactly the kind of movie that needs this approach, this mix of greatest hits. And also like the soundtrack itself. Like the movie starts with that Van Halen. That is spot on. You're like, okay, you know exactly what kind of a ride you're on.
Right. You're stealing my thunder here on that one. I'll tell you that.
I know. I won't talk about the soundtracks as much. I more approach this from the score side. And Daft Punk redefines movie scoring. That is something. Probably some pop artist has done a soundtrack. Queen really did songs. It wasn't actually like instrumental music.
They did both. Flash Gordon really only had the two songs that was one to get the theme, and then the ending song. They had a couple of vocal refrains,
but it was still like pop music sort of. But this is actual like instrumental, classical music that gets interweaved with this techno, and Daft Punk itself appears in the movie. When they pop up, it's amazing. And truly, like, I listened to this soundtrack for a week after I rewatched this movie, and I still listen to this. It's one of the greatest movie scores. It's in my top 5 greatest movie scores of all time. And this is Daft Punk revolutionized movie scoring with this one. So this is easily for Tron Legacy.
Interesting. Okay. I get what you're saying on that. I will say, I know you already said it, but I got to do it again anyway. It almost a fist bump moment for me. Was the beginning of Ready Player One. You kind of lit into it, and all of a sudden that synth chord played. Dun, dun, it's like, yes, this is so what this movie is going to be.
Exactly what the book was as well. Well, this is exactly the tone that we needed.
Exactly, and it worked so well. I got so excited, and the quotes from The Shining worked so. That whole sequence from The Shining was great.
The Overlook music comes on. Dun, 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 dun.
Dude. Yeah, so good. And they, like I said, they had the Back to the Future stuff. They clip a lot of things. The only problem with the score to me is that the score from Alan Silvestri was, to be honest, to me, forgettable. The score itself was forgettable. I was more into the quotes. And anyway, that's kind of like what that movie is. So it works. The soundtrack works on every single level. It's just not Daft Punk. And that's the only problem. Like, I hate to say it's a big knock about it. That's not as good. It's just not as good as Daft Punk's.
It's hard to be as good.
It encapsulates the entire film. Like, it just is part of the. Is it really a part of the layered of the scenery? It's like just as much a scenery piece as any of the program things are. It's that engraved into the things. I agree. I have to go with Daft Punk here. No problem. No doubt for me at all. And I love Ready Player One's music, but Daft Punk wins it for me.
That is, they do something very special with it.
It's an easy one right there.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it for the first category. Second one is better mentor or father figure. So I'll let you take the lead on this one, because we kind of need to discuss why we picked father figure.
We did. We started talking about it. Like, we kind of like. I mean, in Tron Legacy, it's kind of easy because it's exactly what it is. Jeff Bridges' character, Flynn, is a father to Sam, the lead character, and he disappeared for a long time inside the computer program. So that's a very definitive father figure role. Ready Player One's a little more nebulous. Mark Rylance says Halliday is not his father by any stretch of the imagination, but he has a father figure. I will say it's a father figure because I'm blanking on the Ready Player One lead character's name.
The lead character.
Yeah.
The actor or the character?
Tie shirt, but Wade Watts.
Wade
That's it.
Watts, yeah.
That's bad. Wade Watts obviously he doesn't have parents. He grew up with his uncle and his aunt in the stacks, and basically he was so obsessed with Halliday's world and Halliday that's how he became a father figure, because he was so learning from everything at the teat of Halliday, pretty much, and also a little bit of Simon Pegg's character as well,
For sure.
but
I think it's not even cheating if you use Peg and Rylance in this instance.
you could absolutely do that. And it works very well, especially the moment, like you said at the end, where you get that little tease for a sequel that maybe Halliday is still somehow around. I'm betting that's going to probably be explored in the sequel novel, possibly. But so which one's better per se? You gotta say that the characters, they don't really care necessarily about being a father figure. They just care about their world. Whereas I think Jeff Bridges' character from Tron is doing almost everything for his son. It's a little late in the day. Like he's a father, got obsessed with his creation, obsessed with what was going on there. But when he turns and Clue starts taking things over, he's doing everything he can to save his son and his son's world.
And he even says it, "You're my greatest creation." It's actually you. There's such good father-son moments in there.
There is. And that's why I have to give this one to Tron as well. Because Jeff Bridges has these great moments in there that are very father-oriented. Even when he's like being pissed off at him, you've done enough.
Yes, that's one of my fist pumps.
Yes, you've done enough, and it's like so like it's a teaching moment, and he's trying to do everything he can the right way, and everything's falling around down upon him. But you know he has that love at the end, of course. Well, we'll get into fist pump moments, of course, towards the end too. But it's all about his father. So those father-son moments are key in a lot of these movies for us, as you know. And that one, there's no like that, nothing like that in Ready Player One. I mean, there's a similar thing at the end, a little bit with Halliday. That's still getting more about the world, really, more about the taking over the Oasis, rather than it is about a father-son era. It's nebulous enough to me that it can't compare to Tron Legacy overall. So I got to give it a try.
For me, it's a lot closer. I'm also giving this to Tron. I'll say this now because of everything you said, and because Jeff Bridges is a friggin' rock star. He's as badass as Gandalf and like as cool as Lebowski. And the exact moment you said, like, you've done enough. You're really messing with my zen here, man. And he like sort of like calms down, switches gears, and he's like this cool dude again.
Yep.
And like his look, the robes, the luminescent Jedi Master robes that he's wearing.
He totally stole my line there.
He's so freaking awesome. And the way he uses Lebowski, sorry.
I'm just gonna say, did you not want to see Jeff Bridges as a Jedi now after watching Tron?
I would be okay if I had to recast Jeff Bridges as, if I ever had to recast Alec Guinness, like now old man Jeff Bridges,
or like even him as like Qui-Gon or something like that. Even something like that.
Sure, yeah, Qui-Gon is actually even better in a way because he's a rebel as well.
Yeah. Or maybe it's even New Jedi. Even like if they did they went back and did like Knights of the Old Republic or something like that, we could have him be very much an awesome old man rebel Jedi type character.
Disney, you have a pre-existing relationship with Jeff Bridges from Tron Legacy. Please cast him as a Jedi.
Get at it.
A Jedi Master.
Yes, absolutely.
But talking about Mark Rylance, we talked about it before, and it's really there's no real connection between them other than Wade Watts just worships the guy,
right? But
the way Rylance, like, I'm not talking about the relationship, but now just what Rylance does with the role, and it's so subtle. There's so little needed, yet the way he's there's a scene like, if you can reach under your seats, you'll find that there's nothing there. It's like such a bland line delivered with so much humor,
right? And
he really is. I can totally see why he got the Oscar win for Bridge of Spies as well. Like he's someone who flies under the radar but accomplishes so much.
But you're arguing performance rather than the father.
Yeah, probably, because I'm trying to find maybe some excuses for the character, because I'm going with Jeff Bridges as well.
So that's the thing. You gotta like. It's more like you gotta.
Mm.
I agree. It's just that if you're gonna put the categories, if you're gonna put best performance against James Bridge against Mark Rylance, that might be a better category. Might be a better battle. When it comes to actually having them as mentors / father figures, it's definitely, to me, it leans towards Jeff Bridges that way.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I picked Jeff Bridges anyway, as Kevin Flynn wins this category for me.
There you go. Nothing further needs to be said then at that point. Maybe we should have changed the category we're discovering now, but that's all right. It happens. It happens to the best of us. So, all right. Better visuals / CGI. Your turn to start, I believe.
Yeah, this is pretty much straightforward. Which movie had the better visuals / CGI? So, Tron's visuals are Ready Player One uses pretty much everything in the Oasis is CGI. Tron, you can tell, uses a lot of practical effects mixed in with CGI. Like Jeff Bridges, Kevin Flynn's hideout in the Sea of Simulation somewhere. You can tell that it's an actual set. They built these slick, glass-covered rooms and people interact with objects there. So that whenever they interweave stuff with practical with CGI, that's already one up for me. But Ready Player One uses, like, similar with the soundtrack, they use so much from other franchises and they try to mix it all together.
Right.
When you think about it, it sounds almost like this is not going to work. But
Right.
somehow Ready Player One manages to weave everything together and it still works. The graphics, everything, you can tell that it's clunky. It's all done perfectly well, but Tron Legacy makes this an easy win for me, truly an easy win. The bikes, the light cycles, whenever they use their bikes or the hovercrafts, they like pull the sticks out for lack of a better word, and we slow down, we get this slow motion build, almost like Iron Man suiting up in his armor. It's like it's such a cool movie, but yet it doesn't take away from the story. It's not too heavy on the visuals. And interestingly enough, I don't know if you remember this from the cinema, the movie was actually half 3D and half you had to take, like the opening sequence of the movie, you weren't wearing your glasses, and then they said 3D starts now, and we put on the glasses.
Right, I do.
So they did something that we've never seen before as well. That was kind of cool. So again, I'm going with Tron here.
Okay.
The slick look and how and also that's not CGI, but they use some CGI on the wardrobe, like the costumes. You can tell the luminescent stuff. So they weaved in stuff with practicality, and that just works for me.
I will take that from you and say, again, I Ready Player One for exactly the same reason you said. They shouldn't have worked in a lot of ways. In fact, they couldn't even get all the clearances that they wanted to because it's so much more that were in the books that they just couldn't get, which makes sense. There was a lot to get.
It's crazy amounts of IPs to get.
And combined with the fact that Steven Spielberg didn't want to put any of his own stuff in there because he kind of felt Indiana just wants to get on it. I don't know why he's doing
Talking about Steven Spielberg, Indiana's going to show up.
That's right. Spielberg didn't want to have his IPs in there, not because of anything more than he felt to be almost arrogant to have him citing his own stuff as awesome, I guess, in a way. So they had to really work on him to get some things thrown in there. But the visuals work for the movie. That's what it is, because it is kind of like a cartoonish kind of movie in a way. So it's okay that the visuals were not quite as slick and crisp. You're not looking for realism when you get into the Oasis. It's supposed to be a little bit that kind of thing. And they do great work with it. I love everything about the visuals in there. Some of them, some of my favorite moments are visually oriented. I can't talk about the visual CGI without bringing up the Shining sequence.
Yeah,
completely spot on, perfect. They recreate the hotel. It looks exactly the same. The blood sequence from the elevators, exactly, everything about it is so spot on. That's part of the visualization of the movie. I gotta give it so much more credit than what I said before. But but then I go back to Tron as well for exactly the same reasons you said. It's so slick, so perfectly created. The light cycles that were part of the original Tron are just updated and made so much slicker and so much cooler. And the glass rooms, everything's so done so perfectly together.
The disc wars, like the
everything
construction.
The constructions, they're moving from back and forth, and the characterizations, all of the things, like even the visuals of like the girls who like walk up to him.
Yeah, very
like,
cool.
Kind of cool things they do. I'm talking myself through. I don't have an answer yet. I'm still trying to think, because The Shining tips it so like heavily onto Ready Player One for me, but I think I gotta go. I gotta go Tron still. I still gotta go Tron, and I almost don't even know why. I'm like,
I'll even give you some ammo which you can use to shoot down Tron if you want to, which I don't want you to do. But we got to talk about Jeff Bridges and the de-aging.
Yes,
so that's probably one of the first things probably one of the first movies that used the de-aging technique. So it's understandable that it's
not good.
It doesn't not look good, but weirdly enough, like, okay, the worst part about it is the opening sequence when they're in the real world, and he's like, someday I'll take you there. That's where it doesn't work. But when they're on the grid, this is a CGI world,
right?
So in there, it's kind of a, like you said, also like it's like in the Oasis.
Right.
It doesn't bother you because we're in a computer grid. I don't want to say program because programs are actual characters on the grid.
Right. On the grid.
So weirdly, and Jeff Bridges' voice makes that character so damn good. Like Clue, he's an awesome villain. He's really cool looking. So
we'll get a villain later on. We're getting a villain soon.
Yeah.
But no, you're absolutely. I'm a bad host. I wasn't even going to bring it up because you had to bring it up. It was the first time, like you said, we've gotten very far since then. I mean, you look at something like Rogue One, a lot closer. People still had problems with it though. Something like the Irishman, you got even Irishman, you even got closer. You can't CGI old
movement.
Men, kind of. Yeah, exactly. Which still becomes the knock on Irishman. It's hard for me to really attack Tron for that though, because it was a step forward. It was a large step forward for anything they ever possibly could have done before. It worked enough that you're like, if you accept it a little, if you have to sit there and accept it. You have to go, okay, it doesn't look perfect, but it still looks pretty cool to see them try. But at the end of the day, it is a knock on it because it's not quite there yet. But I'm still giving it to Tron for everything. All right. Except for The Shining. I do want The Shining. I always like The Shining is the best of the visualizations.
It is. It's probably one of the best parts of the movie.
But it's overall
as a whole.
So, all right. Let's get into better villain now.
There we go. So we got Nolan Sorrento versus Clue.
And not only Clue, but there are a couple other villains you could throw in there if you want to do villains, because you do have Zeus / Castor, played by Michael Sheen.
Yeah,
which he does betray them, so he is definitely.
I would say he's a shit weasel because he really isn't a bad character. He's just out for himself.
No, you're right on that. But he is on the bad guy's side a little bit. He does betray them, and then there's also James Frain's Jarvis, Jarvis, the right hand man, the Clue's right hand man. We talked about
right. Yeah, we talked about him. Yep.
Right. And he's good at that role too. I love James Frain has been in a lot of genre TV. He's that squinty little, like, he actually looks like a shit weasel, but he ends up he usually plays characters more powerful than that usually. But these are they all count. Whereas on the other side, Ready Player One, you have Ben Mendelsohn, who does a fucking phenomenal job at everything he's ever been in. But in this is Sorrento. But the other villain, unfortunately, is someone that I can't. She plays Xandor. The female is kind of just a one note, not very great character. His like muscle.
Yeah. She does what she needs to, but
she's fine. But she's fine. But like there's nothing. But when you put up against Clue and the addition of Zeus Castor, Michael Sheen is one of my favorite characters in the whole movie.
Oh, he's so awesome.
He's like this very David Bowie-esque kind of like a villain in a way. But he's really kind of cool, very flamboyant. And you combine him with someone like Clue, who is a great villain because he's
so charismatic. He really is. And he does what was asked of him. He builds the perfect world.
He is a hero of sorts. Not like
he's a hero of his own programming.
But right, he's doing what is for the greater good. And it actually is, in his mind, the greater good, because the users are 2-degree evil who have captured them and trapped them and everything else. He just wants freedom. He wants to be able to live his life and the best for his programs and his people that he leads. So there's something that has to be said about that. And there's actually that great moment at the end with Clue and Flynn.
I did what you asked me.
Right. It's that moment. This is what you wanted me to do.
This is where you relate to his villain.
Right. So there's something special about that to me, that Ben Mendelsohn, who is great, is still kind of a one-note villain. I am the rich guy who wants to take over the world and make a lot of money. It's not a lot of layers there. It's not like, so to me, I love a layered villain. So give me anybody.
Going with Tron?
I'm going with Tron.
Wow.
I'm going with Tron.
You're really surprising me.
Ben Mendelsohn is a great actor. He's one of my favorite. He's actually one of my favorite living actors. Everything he's ever been in, I've loved him in. Absolutely loved him in. He's very smart, very intense. He adds a lot of layers himself to these roles, but this particular role is not meant to have many layers. It's the cartoonish bad guy with the one note. He's got one note. I am evil. I am a fuckhead, and I'm going to just make money. I gotta give it to the layered villain every time. Give me a clue.
That is
with
your knock on Mendelsohn is my reason why I'm giving this to Ready Player One. It's because he has to be very one-sided. He has to be this shit weasel, your go-to villain type, and he's almost overplayed. But it works in a sense that it's a book for, I think it's a YA novel. Pretty much. Oh no, it actually relates to all generations. That's what's so great about Ready Player One, because it throws back so much, physics and stuff. But Mendelsohn has this ability to make this slimy businessman mentality seem very natural and enjoyable, and you love to hate him. He has this slur as well when he's the scene when he has all these urologists in his ears, like, I would rebuild all these schools and make them, the Ferris Bueller high school is like, and I'm a cool guy like you. That's just me, man. He's so
with Duran Duran.
He's being such a guy. And I do love that when he's trying to seem cool, but it's not really working. But you appreciate what he's doing as an actor. Yeah, I don't know. I do agree, but like Clue, I do love that he's so charismatic. The villain is so charismatic, and the final part when I did everything you asked of me, man. It's like that's where they connect again. That is where they are the person that they were meant to be.
Right.
But I don't know, like Nolan Sorrento, Ben Mendelsohn, he's meant to be a villain. Like, I do love when he's a good guy, but he's your what's the ship weasel from Air Force One? He's like the the guy I'm talking about.
God damn, we're so bad at that. that guy from that movie.
That guy. We love movies.
We do. We love movies with all our heart. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
This goes to Ready Player One because
I get it.
I do love that one note villain, and it works in this movie.
Again, my picking Tron does not in any way suggest that I don't like Mendelsohn or his role.
Of course,
he played it perfectly well. I actually love he's one of my favorite parts of the movie. I just have that soft spot for a layered villain like that Clue is to you. So that's what it is. All right, we got one category left. It's time for better fist pumps. Let's talk about those moments that we absolutely love in the film. Is it my turn to go first or yours?
I think we can go back and forth, because I just I'll be honest, I have like a bunch of fist bumps just written down, and I want to get through all of them.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go one real quick. First one from Tron. It's the Jedi moment, Yoda moment. It's in the club. It's in Michael Castor.
Yeah, when Jeff Bridges comes up, he's like puts hands down.
Hands down.
Lights go out.
Holy shit! You're like, oh, this is who that guy is. This is who Flynn is now. He is the fucking Jedi Master.
He's the creator.
The creator. And he gets that look, oh shit. Oh shit. That's like, oh shit. That's the oh shit moment pretty much. Love is my favorite part of the whole movie.
Same here. Like, and the Daft Punk score comes on, he just starts taking out these, drones or whatever they are, the soldiers.
Absolutely. Oh man. Go ahead.
I'll go with Ready Player One.
Okay.
My first fist bump in the movie is, I already mentioned it, but I didn't take it any further. It's the moment where Wade is in the archives, and he's watching the clip that he's seen 1,000 times, and he's leaving already, and then Mark Rylance goes, "Why can't we go backwards for once? Backwards, really fast as you can. Really put the pedal to the metal, And this score comes on. He's like, oh, he's figured it out. And the moment that score comes on, he goes back. He's like, wait, rewind that, go back. It's like, oh yes, you're right. Onto something. This is like, shit starts to go down. I'm so excited for the rest of this movie.
True. Very true. I'm gonna go back to Tron still. It's the ending. It's the ending sequence where just like I said, Clue's like, what did you do? Like, I did what you wanted. And Sam, go. And Sam is trying to get out with Olivia Wilde, who, by the way, we haven't mentioned at all. I feel bad that we haven't mentioned Olivia Wilde at all. Olivia Wilde is great in this movie. I love her.
Yes.
There's always a fist bump in this movie.
Both Olivias, Olivia Cook, Olivia Wilde, amazing characters.
Completely great characters. But so they're leaving, and she gets to see. But then he goes for them. So Clue goes for him, and then he has to Jedi up again in a way, and has to sacrifice himself. And he's like, he brings him in, and an explosion. And you're like, no, but then they're like, yeah. Same time, it's so good.
It's happening. Jeff Bridges is probably not getting out of this alive, but it's still such a powerful moment. And the father-son moments, like every father-son moment that they have, like the one where we talked about, it's like, you've done enough already,
right?
Sam, you really weren't messing with my Zen, man. And the first time they meet, like when Sam thinks he's meeting his father, it's actually Clue. And you're sort of like, you see Sam, and then you see his face change. Okay, this is not my dad. And when they finally meet again, and when they hug, like that's when it breaks down for me.
Speaking of Olivia Wilde, though, I'd throw that in there too. When she first gets in there, during the whole light thing, all of a sudden she comes out, blasts the hell out of the guy. Get in, and you're like, no idea who she is, and she kicks ass. She's like, let's get out of here, and she just drives off, and you find out later, like, who is this person? Who is this creature? You find out later on that she's she's like the last surviving ISO. That's right. I'm like, oh, it's so cool. She's so awesome. I love her. Olivia Wilde's a fist bump for me and all. So
yeah, she has so much fun with the character. She's really enjoying herself, like letting loose, and exactly what the character needs to be.
She's like this naive character. She's so good. Like, you believe that she's not human. You believe that she's like hasn't these tendencies, but she wants to be feeling. She wants to feel. She has a personality. Right. Exactly. So good. I haven't talked about Ready Player One yet.
There's a lot more. The Zemeckis Cube moments.
Well, Zemeckis Cube.
So when he's like, when the music comes on, the Back to the Future music.
Yep.
That is such a great fist bump for me.
The Van Halen moment right from the beginning. Because that first synth chord plays. You know what's happening. So good. So many good moments. The Shining.
The Shining, the Overlook moment, the one we discussed. And during the final battle, I don't know why, but I think it was one of my favorite fist bumps in the movie. I don't want to say what comes before, but it's fucking Chucky. And it just starts like the way you don't expect that there to be a fuck in the movie,
right?
But the way it's used, it's fucking Chucky.
That's awesome. That's true. So many good moments in there. I mean, there's so many good moments just as far as there's so many minor fist bump moments every time they bring up something nostalgic. You see Iron Giant. You see the
Gundam. Like, I choose Gundam.
The Gundam part, exactly. They start talking about things. You're like, oh, I love that. The Shine. Every time they mention them, you're like, oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. That's so cool. But yeah, everything about that movie is so good. And the ending's also a cool moment too when he finally gets that free coin comes into play. Everyone's like, how the hell is he gonna get this extra life? And you see Olivia Cook. Wait, how are you still playing? Oh, that moment
Extra
comes.
Life.
Extra Life.
Mhm.
He has it. Oh, it's so good. Whole movie is so good.
I'm
So which way are you
torn.
leaning? Yeah, which way are you leaning?
I think because of because of Kevin Flynn and Sam moments, the father-son moments, and Kevin Flynn showing up at the club.
Right.
I think that takes it from me because I'll be honest, when he showed up at the club, I rewinded,
Did you?
turned my volume up, and I just watched it again. I was like, yes. So I'm going Tron Legacy again, which yeah.
Wow. I think I'm actually leaning Tron also, and there's the reason why I might talk myself out of it. So let me give a second. I think Ready Player One actually probably has more fist pumps,
Mm-hmm.
but they're more like it's like consistently a fist pump.
Yeah.
But what happens? It's like kind of like that lessens the actual fist pump moment. It's all like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. That's pretty cool. That's cool. That's cool. Tron has those fuck yeah moments.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it really sees the fist pump in a way. I gotta give it to Tron also, man. I gotta give it to Tron. And I'm surprised because Ready Player One's my favorite movies of the last couple of years. But
same here. That's what breaking things down into categories does for you.
do you even realize? Have you been paying attention to our scoring at this point?
I think it's like 9-1.
It is 9-1. It's almost
It is
a sweep. The only thing we got is you're giving Sorrento the better villain. That's it. It's 9-1. Tron wins.
I gotta explain what happened before we decided on Ready Player One. We were like, we want to do Ready Player One versus something because it's such a great movie of ours. We just gotta find something that Ready Player One is able to, jab in the ring with.
Right.
It got demolished.
Got its ass kicked by Tron.
And it's weird because, sorry,
Jacob Patrick's happy. JP is happy.
Yeah, for sure. But interesting. I give Ready Player One 5 out of 5 stars. I give Tron Legacy 4.5 out of 5.
I
categories break
it
down.
I think overall, if I had to pick a movie I was going to watch, like you put a movie on the after, I'd probably put Ready Player One on first.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But Tron is so good in its way as well. This is why this show, I love doing this show because it just these surprises that are there. You're like, I don't get it, but it comes down and you look at the categories and I can't change my mind in any of them. It is what it is, It's 9-1. 9-1 Tron Legacy beating Ready Player One. Wow. No.
That's insane.
That's insane. But you know what?
But I'm happy. I'm really happy about it. I hope the people in the chat are as well.
I hope so as well, too. We're going to find out. This is you're watching this on a Sunday. This is pre-recorded earlier in the week. But I'm hoping we'll be there and we'll have a good time. And you're not yelling at us too badly. Hell, you know what? A lot of people may not even like either movie. Both these movies suck. That's all right. Everybody loves their own movies. That's fine. It doesn't bother me at all. I'm used to liking movies that people don't like.
Yeah, same here. Exactly.
All good. But you know what? That's our show for today, guys. I hope you, like I said, I hope you liked it. I hope you hit that like and subscribe button. Give us some comments down there. It always helps the algorithms, as Ben likes to say. Also, please feel free to give us suggestions. We're always looking for some suggestions. Some things that you want to hear us talk about, put up against each other. We had some suggestions before that we're looking into at some point, but we'll go into there. Should I announce our semi-official schedule of sorts?
I think you can say what we're doing next week.
I'm going to throw them all out there. See, this is what's coming up in general. How about that? We're not going to say exactly when we're going to do them. But I think we can get this out there now. We came to a degree. It's going to be a long summer, but we have to do a couple of episodes in a week because we have a lot of vacations planned. We don't want to skip weeks, so we're going to try to get as much in a week as we can. A couple of the things we got coming up. We're going to have two of my favorite comedies of recent time. Game Night versus Tag. I love both these movies. I think they're both hilarious. I love them both. I can't wait to find out because they're going to have categories to face them against each other. We also got one that's going to be one of Jarvi's favorite, I feel.
Yeah, buddy.
The Dark Knight is a great movie. The Dark Knight is probably considered one of the greatest comic movies of all time. But what about the other two? We're going to put up Batman Begins versus The Dark Knight Rises. I like that idea of they better one of those two. A lot of people like. There's some people who actually like Batman Begins very well, but some people who hate Dark Knight Rises.
I'll give you a hot take. My favorite movie out of the three of them is Dark Knight Rises.
Which is funny to me. Well, I guess you're going to come to some categories that Batman Begins can win then. But I'll make it see.
No, categories can change everything.
As we just found out. Also, we're going to have a special Independence Day, 4th of July episode. We're going to put up two of my favorite of Mel Gibson's movies, Braveheart versus The Patriot.
Oh, yes.
So good. Angry Mel Gibson from the 90s.
He's the greatest.
It's going to be such a great. Damn him. Damn that man from The Patriot. So good movie. So beyond that, we do have some guests coming up also. We're trying to work out our schedule right. We're going to have Eddie Green from Eddie Green's 101, a very famous action movie anatomy fan. Been a long-time supporter, and he's seen a couple of our episodes as well. And Richard was just on his podcast, which was a very awesome episode. I love hearing you guys have that conversation. You guys are very smooth talking together. I learned stuff about you and stuff about Eddie, and it was a lot of fun. But of course, it did spur on one of our topics of discussion.
Yeah, buddy.
It's one of those ones that people might not like either movie, but that's okay. We're going to do it anyway because I love them both.
Denzel versus Denzel.
Denzel versus Denzel. The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3 versus Unstoppable. I know I heard that. Ben Bateman's heart just stopped a little bit because he loved it so much. He loved taking.
And Drew is like, I'm not watching that episode.
In fact, Drew said, "Oh, that's going to be an exciting one." That's what he told me.
Yeah,
that's what Drew said. Drew's not a big fan. But also, I will wrap up and say, because of that, we did talk to Ben Bateman, and Ben Bateman is going to make an appearance on a Class Action Live episode we're going to do, where we'll be ranking Tony Scott's movies, top 5 Tony Scott movies.
He's got such an amazing filmography.
Underrated, very underrated. A lot of fun movies, and that's why I'm doing that's why, if you notice, I've been watching all the Tony Scott movies because I try to figure out which ones I want to put in the top 5. But that's it. That's it for this week. Jarvi, where can the folks find you?
You can find me at Richard Eric with a K Jarvi on Facebook and Instagram, and you can find me here weekly talking with Paul DiNuzio about movies.
There you go. You can find me at Paul_DiNuzio. You can find me at the Team Action Patreon, patreon.com/Team Action, where we have all sorts of new fun tiers and content coming from Ben and Drew, including the General Debate, which is a show that I host alongside Ben and Drew bi-weekly, every other week, where the General can debate other topics. We just had one this week, which was the greatest trilogies of all time. Next one is going to be in 2 weeks, greatest movie death of all time. Should be a lot of fun. Get a lot more submissions from these generals in the Action Army. Should be a lot of fun. But you can also find me in the Call to Action podcast or Chilled Action, which is where we do an interview of the Schmodown superstars, being Danielle Ramirez. That's always a fun time. And finally, I feel like I'm talking forever. I have one more I'll throw in there. My PLD projects. I do my show on V and the Walk Through the Science Fiction Saga. I will be starting the Renaissance kind of imminently. Next couple of weeks is what I'm hoping. I'm waiting for a few thumbnails and waiting for an idea, a little format thing I have to just figure out a little last thing, but I'm right on the cusp. And I also will hopefully be doing an interview show soon on that as well, which I will definitely be asking my boy Richard Eric Jarvi to be on an episode of. We'll go from there. Otherwise, that's it. Love you guys. Thumbs up, subscribe. Let us know what you think. And of course, as always, court is adjourned.